Amanda Gorman is a 24-year-old poet, writer, model, and activist. She was born prematurely with her twin sister Gabrielle on March 7, 1998 in Los Angeles, California. In addition to her twin sister, Amanda has an older brother, Spencer. Her mother, Joan Wicks, is a teacher at a middle school in Watts, a neighborhood in southern Los Angeles. Amanda discovered the harsh inequities that were vivid in the different neighborhoods while driving to her mother's work many times as a child. This is similar to the immense diversity displayed in the park in David Sterndy's novel Brother and Trayvon Martin's Neighborhood, as shown in directors Jenna First and Julia Willoughby Nason's documentary Rest in Power: The Trayvon Martin Story. Much like Frances and Michael in Brother, Amanda's mother worked hard to support her family and her father was not in the picture. Amanda lived in West Los Angeles and attended New Roads, a private progressive school in Santa Monica. She later attended Harvard University and graduated in 2020 after finishing her studies in sociology remotely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even at an early age, Amanda Gorman was interested in poetry. When she was 5 years old, she would wake her mother up early in the morning and ask for paper and a pen to write her ideas. Her other hobbies included watching sunsets and digging for fake fossils. During her childhood, Amanda faced the realities of our cruel world while identifying her passion. Amanda Gorman was born prematurely, which led to learning disorders, including a speech impediment. She was unable to pronounce many sounds until a couple years ago and had to adapt her writing to accommodate her disability. Amanda was singled out due to her race and speech impediment. This is similar to how Rachel Jantel was bullied during her deposition interview for her inability to read cursive writing in Rest in Power: The Trayvon Martin Story, as these are things that neither person could control in the moment. What helped Amanda to improve her speech impediment was listening to the soundtrack of Hamilton on repeat, specifically the track of Aaron Burr's Sir. Furthermore, Amanda Gorman views her disability as a positive rather than a weakness. She told Oprah Winfrey, "I think it made me all that much stronger of a writer when you have to teach yourself how to say words from scratch. I think of my speech impediment not as a weakness or disability, but as one of my greatest strengths." Amanda Gorman is an inspiration as she was able to overcome these struggles of her disability by finding ways to manage it while identifying the advantages it brings. Amanda Gorman knew exactly what she wanted to pursue as a career after she discovered her third-grade teacher, Shelley Fredman, was a published author. Being able to look at a woman and see that what I love to do could actually be a career was eye-opening, she described to a reporter. Shelley Fredman was a crucial part of Amanda's development in poetry and writing, as she provided a great advice, support, and made peanut butter and banana sandwiches to motivate her. Unfortunately, most, if not all, Black families in America have a conversation with their children about the reality of racism in their society. When her mother had it with Amanda, she realized she wanted to make a difference. Amanda was inspired by Malala Yousafzai's speech given at the United Nations Conference in 2013, and at the age of 16 became a youth delegate for the United Nations. At the age of 15, Amanda led workshops at her mother's school in which she would teach creative writing. Subsequently, Amanda received funding to create an organization called One Pen, One Page to encourage literacy and creativity in the younger generations. In 2014, when Amanda was only 16 years old, she was named the Los Angeles Youth Poet Laureate. Later, in 2017, she became the first ever National Youth Poet Laureate. Amanda Gorman's best-known accomplishment is her poem The Hill We Climb, which she read at Joe Biden's inauguration in 2021 at the age of 22. As such, she became the youngest inaugural poet in United States history. When she was requested to read at the ceremony by Dr. Jill Biden's team, she was fearful that she wouldn't be good enough. "I wasn't sure I could do it justice, but I'm so glad that I put my best foot forward and did it," she said during an interview. Amanda wrote her inaugural poem while watching extremists storm the Capitol on her television and made sure to include similar realities of our society. As such, Amanda told a reporter, "America is messy. It's still in its early development of all that we can become, and I have to recognize that in the poem. I can't ignore that or erase it. And so I crafted an inaugural poem that recognizes these scars and these wounds. Hopefully it will move us toward healing them." Amanda Gorman has published 4 best-selling books, including her children's book, Change Stings, a children's anthem. She described her book as a poetic rallying cry for kids who want to make a difference. A symbol that represents Amanda Gorman is paper and a pen, as these have been weapons she has used to give a voice to her thoughts and feelings to create an impact on the world since she was a child. Amanda Gorman is the first person to declare they plan to run for president in the 2036 election after she said heck yeah to a reporter's question on the topic. She continues to fight for a variety of issues, including racism, abortion bans, feminism, and police brutality through her writing. For instance, she wrote a poem for the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. She uses her voice and the power of language to heal and bring together people to create social change, similar to Sabrina Fulton's organization Circle of Mothers from Rest in Power the Trayvon Martin story. Amanda Gorman is an incredibly talented and determined activist who has overcome a lot to become the accomplished young woman she is today. Thank you for listening to my ISU on Amanda Gorman. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new.